While a prediction of something that occurs in a certain place during a particular interval of time can be accurately declared, prophesied, and foretold using deductions based on one's current knowledge, we Rh Negative Celestial Starseeds naturally possess the psychokinetic power of precognition, which is the divine gift and special ability to utilize our sight beyond sight to panoramically scan the entire quantum energy field spectrum to mentally perceive the events, including the sounds and images that distinguish them, of all probable alternate futures well before these destined events ever happen and take place within our context of existence. At times, the accuracy of our precognitive abilities to foresee future events decreases in direct proportion to the number of alternate futures to scan within the omniversal network environment. Despite the limited extent to our certainty, our long-range scanning is of great use in the early detection of possible random factors that could disrupt us and our strategic plans. The more likely that a particular alternate future will manifest itself in our current context of existence, the clearer and more distinct our mental impression of the events will be. Those less likely alternate futures can sometimes appear hazy and indistinct. For those of us whose precognitive perceptions are fully activated, we gifted individuals see an overlapping succession of events and images drift in and out of focus as probabilities change or transfer from one place, position, direction, and/or person to another as further elements transpire. By active participation in the events around us, we ourselves can alter the probabilities toward the desired ends within our own personal phenomenal field. Predicting which possible futures one is likely to experience can never be done with perfect accuracy, since a context of existence must diverge in order for there to be alternate futures, and hence, there will always be divergent counterparts of the precognitively gifted individual in each of these alternate futures. Sometimes, precognition is only expressed in vague, prophetic dreams while we are asleep. And other times, our visions are clear and occur at will while we are consciously awake. Our psychometric special abilities and enhanced intuition allows we Rh Negative Celestial Starseeds to attain information about an object or living subject simply by coming into close contact with it or something associated with said object or person. We can even act as mediums for residual energies, and as such, we can experience talents or memories from touching an object previously owned by someone else, or see the past or future of a subject by touching an object owned by or associated with the subject. As a means of survival, fitness, and gaining wisdom, our enhanced intuition helps us to avert crisis by alerting us about certain things or people, seeing directly into one's spiritual essence, or detecting certain danger before it happens, serving as a precognitive and retrocognitive compass to determine in which direction that we are traveling. To document the nearly overwhelming amount of prophetic visions that I myself receive on a constant and continuous basis, I usually transcribe what I see into a series of journal entries that I record as emails that I send directly to myself. For example, I often witness the transitions of celebrities, world leaders, and other prominent figures beforehand, such as with screen actor Sean Connery on December 14th, 2019, and then watching the event that I predicted occur and become accurate according to the official narrative as reported by mainstream news media outlets within this context of existence on October 31st, 2020. hardcore wrestling legend Jerome Young, professionally known as New Jack, former President George Herbert Walker Bush, or Emmy and Academy Award-winning actress and comedian Cloris Leachman. An illustration of how I'm able to perceive time can be likened to sitting in a complicated, multi-dimensional, multi-screen Cineplex movie theater in which there already exists written and fixed feature-length motion pictures of each event at every moment from the beginning of all time to the most distant future stretching infinitely before us. As I find myself viewing every movie being shown in the theater simultaneously while watching multiple screens all at once. Each motion picture has its own mathematical frequency coordinates, similar to an energetic address. And speaking of blockbuster motion pictures, on March 30th, 2019, I observed and recorded that the movie Avengers Endgame would become the highest grossing Hollywood movie of all time, surpassing $2 billion in sales at the box office. The motion picture was officially released on April 22nd, 2019, and as I predicted, it did indeed become the highest grossing film of all time, a title that the movie held from July of 2019 up until March of 2021. To become compatible with what is referred to as alternate timelines only requires equalizing our personal biological frequencies with the coordinates of the targeted destination or event, similar to an electronic remote control device button moved to locate and tune into the signal of a particular television station. Although the term timeline is commonly used within the discussion of temporal progression and time exploration, timelines do not truly exist. This word is only a means of providing an explanation of communicating the existence of mathematical sequential events with harmonics of a frequency. In supreme actuality, the concept of past and future exists only in the limited viewpoints of those within the physical material realm of this educational artificial reality training habitat. Infinitely countless outcomes occurring simultaneously converge into one singularity point encompassing the absolute of the omniversal network environment, moving in all directions at its own rate of acceleration and intention. Everything is mathematically represented with cycles, taking place all at once within this never-ending now moment. And this is how I am able to witness and record events like the ritualistic sacrifices of persons involved with the entertainment industrial complex, such as Hall of Fame Major League Baseball manager Tommy Lasorda, Motown legend Mary Wilson, up-and-coming hip-hop recording artist King Von, boxing legend Roger Mayweather, who was also referred to by his nickname, the Black Mamba. So we can see the patterns of how his transition was used as a mockery and tribute to the then recently murdered NBA player Kobe Bryant, who was also nicknamed the Black Mamba. I often also record predetermined results of scripted professional sporting events, which are all just more deep state exopolitical mechanisms for social engineering, mind control, shaping beliefs, and the manufacturing of public consent, such as on September 13th, 2019, when I recorded observing the eventual release of the current technological organic virus onto the population, and the subsequent nonsensical, new travel restrictions to accompany the fear-mongering, hysteria, and sensationalism surrounding this technological organic virus, such as vaccine passports, as well as the continued public disclosure of oligarchs used as scapegoats to cover for the rest of those entities behind the scenes that make up the unseen hand, whom are directly involved in worldwide child trafficking networks. The acceleration of perception of temporal progression is the average of the perception of the collective inhabitants located here on our sister Earth. Mankind's perception is based on awareness, and their awareness depends solely on the quality of the amount of information that the collective inhabitants themselves can process. An interesting principle to point out about temporal progression and manipulation is that despite Hollywood movies showing how artificial tampering with the time stream can directly threaten the very existence of those in the future, in supreme actuality, there is no grandfather paradox. One's very efforts in going to the past to alter the historical record or to prevent the formulation of unwanted future events becomes the exact reason itself that inevitably causes these undesired events to happen in the first place. The same creative energetic dynamics will always remain. So in other words, what is destined to be will always be. While I myself have never had a precognitive vision in which the events witnessed did not occur, there are events that take place within this context of existence that were slightly altered in detail from how I originally observed and recorded them. For example, I witnessed comedian and screenwriter Paul Mooney transitioning by the end of the 2020 calendar year. Although in this current context of existence, the event did not take place until recently on May 19th, 2021. I noticed these changes to the variables of events, especially when it comes to professional sporting events, such as Super Bowl 53, in which on September 21st, 2018, I observed and recorded that there would be another scripted championship appearance for Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, playing against either the Washington Redskins or San Francisco 49ers. But on February 3rd, 2019, it turned out to be that it was the Los Angeles Rams that the Patriots were awarded the victory over. It's important to keep in mind that all possibilities are available for we brave awakened ones that have an expanded range of the non-linear progression of the countless variables of the quantum energy field spectrum, so that an accurate prediction of future events can be predicted. Events can be influenced and changed for group perceptual agreements by altering and modifying our mental perception and the management of our personal biological frequencies. Our divine gifts and special abilities of manifestation promote radical and dramatic changes. So a quantum leap would be described as us managing to send creative shock waves that propel us to make a dramatic move forward in our growth and development, where the changes in our lifetime campaigns and the world around us are significantly large. Following a path of higher consciousness makes us harmonious with the events of higher frequencies. These are the mechanics of manifestation. Lastly, here are a few more events that I witnessed and recorded earlier in this 2021 calendar year that have already recently transpired, including the transitions of the father of recording artist Nicki Minaj, Dustin Diamond, star of the hit television series Saved by the Bell, the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip, recording artist Black Rob, as well as hip-hop icon and screen actor DMX. Our divine gifts and special abilities of precognition and retrocognition are designed to remind us that transcending the construct of time from a physical material realm perspective is the last expression of duality. As individual holographic fragments of Source actively seeking the all-knowing, our ascension is about polarity integration, recognizing our omniversal presence, and remembering that our consciousness knows no limits. From an omniversal perspective, time is merely a process of change that is the result of the observation of one's consciousness, a reflection of the internal towards the external. For it is we Rh Negative Celestial Starseeds that are manifesting generators. The thought that we are powerless to control the flow of time is only an illusion of this educational artificial reality training habitat, when the golden truth is that it is we ourselves that are the living embodiment of eternity and infinity.